Today I'm going to talk to you about chord voicings and chord shapes, and this is going to translate directly to guitar playing. Chord voicing basically means how the notes are laid out in the intervals between those notes. And chord shapes has to do on the guitar with the shape that you use when you're creating that chord. Now, today I'm specifically going to focus on the key of G. Now, if you've been playing guitar a while, you know that you can get to a G chord in many different ways. So I've just played a G chord in 5 different shapes, and each of them has their own voicing. The notes and the intervals between the notes are different on each one of those chords. When I am playing rhythm guitar, particularly on an acoustic guitar, I prefer to use what is called a open string voicing, which basically means I try to let as many strings ring unfretted as I can. And G is a really good key to be in to use an open string voicing. So let's talk about chord voicings related to the key of G. Now, when I'm playing rhythm guitar, I am usually approaching the key of G in one of 3 ways. The first way is what I would call the standard guitar method, which is what you'll see on a guitar poster. So if we're going to look at our hands, this diagram indicates the numeric value for each of the fingers on the fretting hand. As you can see, T equals the thumb, 1 is the index finger, 2 is the middle finger, 3 is the ring finger, and 4 is the 4th finger. This represents the fretting of an open G chord and is probably the first chord that pretty much any guitarist will ever learn. And here's how it looks on the guitar. Likewise, this is the standard C major chord, showed here on the guitar. Here is your D major, also on the guitar. The relative minor, E minor, and here on the guitar. Okay, so the second open string voicing that I do in the key of G involves taking your 3 and 4 finger on your fretting hand and putting them on the 3rd fret of the high E and B strings. Then I take my 2 and 1 finger, just like I normally would, and fret a G. Now I take this same step, or the same shape, with 1 and 2 and move it down 1 set of strings, and I've got a C2. Then this one's a little bit more complicated. I take the number 2 and put it on the 2nd fret of the G string, and then I take the 1 and put it on the 2nd fret of the E string, and I've got a D add 4 over F sharp. Then I take these 2 fingers and put them on the positions for the E minor, and I've got an E minor 7. So what I have here is like a really nice melodic tone that's got this high-end drone in it, kind of like this. So it's really pleasing. The third chord voicing that I use is going to be, in the beginning, similar to the standard way of doing it. The only thing is I'm going to use the 2, 3, and 4 fingers instead of the 1, 2, and 3 fingers. So I put the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the E, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the A, and my pinky goes down to the high E on the 3rd fret, which sounds exactly like the standard tuning. Now I'm going to keep that pinky on the 3rd fret when I transition to C. Now, the reason why I keep it like that is because when I'm doing a song that transitions between G and C, it's far faster to do it this way. Now, let me show you a couple of tricks that I do with this particular fingering. I take that C with the high G, and I slide that entire chord shape up a full fret, a full step. And what I've done is I've created a D add 4. And you can hear it's got this nice little tone to it. Now I'm not done. I'm going to slide up another full step, but instead of keeping that second finger there, I'm going to drop the first finger down to the 5th fret on the D string. And now I've got an E minor. Then I'm going to slide up a step and a half and go back to that C position, and I've got a G. And so now what I've done is I've taken a voicing of a chord that I can use up and down the neck to play. Now listen to this. So you see we've got these really pretty chords that are happening, and then we've also got a melodic background there too that's being provided by the pinky staying on that high E string. And here's what they look like. Here's the G, C, sliding up a full step to the D, sliding up a full step and dropping the 3rd for an E minor, and a step and a half up to the G. Another way that you can think about it is right here on this 3rd fret on the A string. That's a C. It's actually middle C on the guitar. And so when I'm playing this C, I know that up a full step is the D. So if I slide that finger up 2 half steps, there's the D. If I slide it up another half step and drop the 3, there's the E minor. Another full step up is an F sharp. I don't want that. So I go another half step. There's the G. Well, hopefully this video has been helpful and informative and given you some ideas on how to approach the open voicing in the key of G. This will become particularly helpful when we're talking about capos, which do full bars of the neck, and then even in cases when we're only going to bar a portion of the neck, we will be using some of these concepts in the videos in the future. So take what new ideas may be helpful to you and start practicing them, and I'll be bringing out a part 2 somewhere in the near future. Take it easy.